Just, yeah, we don't know anyway. Now we start. Okay, yes, read please. You're not there.
JS is a public sector organization. Country Acts. The mission statement of JS is in figure 1.1. JS is one of the largest businesses in Country Acts. It benefits from many economies of scale, but also suffers from some diseconomies of scale. There's an outlet of JS in every main town, city, and country X. Each outlet must cooperate with the others to provide the best service to those looking for new employment and businesses, looking for new employees.
Let's paper, please. Yeah. Nothing, thank you. Continue, please.
The management JS are concerned about the poor motivation department A, which has led to high labor turnover. They interviewed those living in Department A to ask for their reasons for living. The results are showing in figure 1.2.
Okay.
So the first question, define the term public sector.
So when we talk about a public sector, we're talking about a business that is run and controlled by the government. That's a public sector. In line 1, based on line 1, we can find it there. It said, yes, so it's one of the benefits from line 1. Yeah. I said it's a public sector, yes. So it's run by government. I think it's clear. So go to the second question.
So public sector is a firm that is run by government.
A public sector, yeah, businesses that are run by government or owned by a state.
Okay.
Public sector. So go to question 1A, Roman figure 2. Explain the relationship between a mission statement and the business objective. When we talk about an objective of a business, that the target the business is setting to reach at a specific period of time. That is an objective. Then the mission statement is the visionary aim of the business. The direction the business is going towards. That is the mission statement. So what happens? The objective of the business must go in line with the mission statement. Do you get the point?
Yeah.
Is it clear?
Very clear.
We go to question Roman figure. Okay, question B now. Roman figure 1. Calculate the rate of turnover for the whole of JS in 2018. And when we talk about turnover, we're talking about the number of workers leaving a company over a period of over a year, like how workers are leaving your company. That is labor turnover, or that is turnover. So yeah, for 2018. So the formula for labor turnover is the number of employees that left in 2018 divided by the total number of employees in 2018 multiplied by 100. You get my point? So labor turnover is number of employees who left. We have 6,250 from Department A, 550 from Department B, 600 from Department C. So that gives us 7,400 divided by the total number of employees in Department A, B, and C, which is 25,000 plus 5,000, which is 30,000 plus 10,000, which is 40,000. So we have 7,400 divided by 40,000 multiplied by 100. So that gives us, let me just do it out, sorry. So we have, let me work it out here. So labor turnover, hold on. Sorry, I'll just go to where the question is.
Do you want a calculator?
Yeah, I have one. It's okay. No, I have, don't worry, thanks. So labor turnover, say for this question, labor turnover, I'm going to work it out here so we can see it. Labor turnover, labor turnover, equals to number of employees who left over total number of employees, total number of employees multiplied by 100, multiplied by 100. So this gives us 7,400 multiplied by 100 divided by 40,000 equals to 18.5%. So that's the answer. Is it clear? Any question about that? All right, so I did this already. Labor turnover is number of employees who left divided by total number of employees multiplied by 100. That gives us that figure, 18.5. So move on. So go to question C, right? Are you there?
Yeah. Analyze the economy of scale and diseconomy of scale.
So when you talk about economies of scale, what's the economies of scale? Economies of scale occurs when the average cost of production of a firm increases. When the average cost of production of a firm reduces due to expansion, that is economies of scale. Your average cost of production reduces as a result of expansion or increase in output. That is economies of scale. Then the question says we should analyze one economies of scale that may affect JS. So for economies of scale, we can talk about managerial economies of scale. And when we talk about managerial economies of scale, the problem about JS here is that JS is having issues with labor turnover. A lot of workers are leaving JS, yes or no? So with managerial economies of scale, JS might be able to employ a personnel manager who will be able to manage the high rate of turnover in terms of labor. So with a personnel manager, he will understand or she will understand how to manage these workers so that they won't leave the organization. Do you get the point I'm making there?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I wrote about it. Then I said, if the issue of labor turnover is reduced, it allows JS to be able to count on experienced workers. And also, it will mean that experienced workers will be attracted to that company. So workers are not leaving anymore like they used to live. So even workers, a lot of potential employees would want to work with JS because something is getting better there. That's what the point is. They'll go to these economies of scale. What is this economies of scale? If your average cost of production starts increasing during your expansion, that is these economies of scale. So one of these economies of scale that could happen to JS here is communications. So here I wrote communication problems, yes. JS is spread, one thing about, here they said JS is spread across country X, that is all over country X. So because JS is all over country X, filling up for workers, JS needs a lot of workers because a lot of workers have left, right? So JS needs to make vacancy available to employ more workers. But because JS is cut across the country X, it might be difficult for JS to get large numbers of employees to fill up those positions due to information. They are unemployed workers, yes, but they might not be able to get the information that JS is needing workers because JS is all over country X. Did you get the point? So we go to question D. They said, recommend how JS could improve the motivation of its employees in Department A. Justify your recommendation. First, JS can use financial motivation. So how can JS use financial motivation here? I wrote, based on the data, let's go back to the data. Here we are in the pie chart. Why I'm talking about financial motivation is about poor pay. 30% of the workers left because of poor pay. So that means if JS is able to increase the salaries of workers, they might not leave anymore. So that's the financial motivation. Do you get the point? So I wrote financial motivation as the data show that 30% of the employees is in the pie chart. 30% of the employees leaving is due to poor pay. They are leaving because of poor payment. So if you can increase their pay, this is good. They might not leave. Then we go to non-financial motivation. For non-financial motivation, they said 20% of the workers are leaving because the job is boring. Based on the pie chart, are you seeing the pie chart? Yes.
Okay.
The pie chart.
The job is boring.
Yeah, 20%.
20%.
So that means you can use non-financial motivation like job enrichment, job enlargement, job rotation to make the job become,
more
interesting to them. Do you understand the point there? That's the second point. The third point I make is about promotion. 5% are leaving the company because there's no possibility of them being promoted. So JS should try to increase its hierarchy within the organization by making it possible for a lot of people to gain promotion. So this might reduce the 5% of those that are leaving. Clear. And the last point I made is about training. Though training is not the problem here because the workers in JS are highly skilled and experienced. But the problem is that they are leaving because of customer relationship. So JS should try to train them more in customer relationship because they said 50% of them are leaving because of they do not like the customers. So they need to find a way of loving the customers and liking them. So they need to be trained on that aspect. Any question about that? So that's question D. So go to question 2A. Are you there, please?
Yeah.
Please read for me.
All the varieties are sold at a price of $1 per unit. TT branded products have a high profit margin. The owners of the TT brand would like to develop a new variety to expand the product portfolio. This new variety would be targeted at parents as a lunchtime snack for their children. The marketing director has been told to do some market research into potential new varieties of chips. A large supermarket group would like to start a joint venture with TT. The supermarket wants to buy TT's vegetable chips, but branded with the supermarket packaging. If the directors of TT agree, this is expected to increase TT's annual sales by 25% and improve the cash flow of the business. However, the joint venture would mean TT's profit margin for supermarket branded chips would be lower than TT's branded chips. The manager at the factory where TT's vegetable chips are produced also has other concerns about their joint venture. I define the term cash flow.
So what is cash flow? Cash flow is the movement of money in and out of the business. The movement of money in and out of the business. I think that is clear. Is it clear, please?
The movement of the money in and out.
Yeah, the movement of money in and out of the business is cash flow. Woman figure 2. Explain the term a brand. A brand is the unique name of a business, which differentiates it from those of its competitors.
Yeah, it might not only be a name, it might also be a logo.
Yeah.
Or
whatever makes your product differentiated from your competitors, it's a brand.
Yeah.
Clear. We go to woman figure. We go to question B. It said refer to table 2.1. Calculate the effect of price increase to $1.10 to $1.10 on the level of sales of the carrot variety of chips. So that means there's price elasticity of demand. So they said the carrots are sold for $1, but it has increased to 1.10, right? So we use our price elasticity of demand for that, which is percentage change in the quantity demanded over percentage change in price. So our PED is minus 1.5 for carrots. We have it already there. The elasticity of demand is minus 1.5. Can you find it there?
Yeah.
So our minus 1.5 equals to percentage change in quantity demanded. We don't know the quantity demanded yet, which we have to find. And percentage change in price, which is P2 minus P1 over P1. P2 is the new price, which is 1.10, minus P1, which is 1, divided by P1, which is 1. So we have 1.10 minus 1, which is 1.1. 1.10 minus, which is 0.1. So 0.1 divided by 1 gives us, let me just calculate it also here, please. Do you have a calculator there? 1.10 minus 1. We have 1.10 minus 1. Because here it's 0.1. 0.1. That's 1.1 minus 1 is 0.1. 0.1 divided by 1 gives us 0.1. So 0.1 multiplied by 100 gives us 10. So that's 10%. So we have 10%, 10% multiplied by minus 0.15 gives us minus 15%. So the quantity change in quantity demanded is minus 15%.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we go to woman figure 2. Explain one way in which the price elasticity of demand figures may be useful to TT. So we're talking about the importance of using price elasticity of demand. So the importance of using price elasticity of demand figure is that it could help you to predict the price at which you want to sell. So because we already know that there's negative PED here, that the quantity demanded for our product has decreased by 15%. So that means if we increase the price to 1.10, a lot of consumers will not buy. That is the point it's making here. So with our PED, we are able to understand that if we increase the price of carrots from 1 to 1.0, 1 to 1.10, the quantity demanded will fall, which means our revenue would fall. So we would know that it is important for us not to increase the price of carrots. We should find other products that have an inelastic demand that we can increase their price.
Yeah.
Clear, right? So go to
Mm.
C, right? Yes. They said analyze one method of market pricing. Are you there, please?
Yeah.
Don't put them together, you know. That's paper 2 of 2. Don't put it with 1 on 1.
This is 2 of 2.
Yes. This is 1 of 2.
What is the other 1 of 2?
I don't know. This is 2 of 2 too. So those are 2 of 2, 1 of 2, right?
Oh,
Okay. Great. So we'll go to C, please. Are you there?
yeah, I'm there. Always there.
All right. So here they said, analyze one method of primary market research and one source of secondary market research that the managing director could use to help develop a new variety of vegetable chip. First, you have to define what market research is. Primary market research. This is when you are gathering information in first hand, like this information is newly developed. You're not this is information that you're getting right now. That is primary.
Mm-hmm.
So one method of primary market research is using questionnaire. So for questionnaire, I said, this means that the managing director could have experience about the kind of variety of chips their kids like. So this means they'll be able to provide or produce those kind of kits or those kind of chips for the kids. That's primary market research questionnaire. Clear? Is it clear, please?
Very clear.
But what is the problem about using questionnaire? When you have to use questionnaire, it is expensive and time consuming because you have to reach large numbers of customers to be able to, before you can use them to represent the whole population.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just take 100 customers and say, yes, these 100 customers will represent 1,000 potential customers. No, you might need like 500 customers or 600 customers to represent 1,000 potential customers. So that means it's expensive to use questionnaire. Clear? Is it clear, please?
I'm shaking with my head.
Okay. Then go to secondary data. Why do we call it secondary data? We call it secondary data because it's a desk research. Mm-hmm. That means the information is done. The research is done by someone else that you are seeking the information from. So it's not you that does the research. That is the point.
Yeah.
So what does the secondary data do? It allows TT to see the kind of flavors of vegetables of its competitors. So an example of a secondary data or a secondary research is through the internet. So TT can use the internet to see the kind of flavors its competitors are making. Mm. Yes or no? So this allows TT to know what the strength and weakness of its competitors are. But the problem of using the internet is that the competitors would not come up with, they won't write on the internet that this is what they are developing now. Yeah. They might be developing new products that the ones that you find are just outdated already, that they are developing. So you wouldn't know if your competitors are developing new products. That means all your research becomes a waste. So that is the disadvantage of using secondary research, such as internet. Yeah. Is it clear? Mm-hmm. Then we'll go to the last question. Mm-hmm. D.
Evaluate concerns that a factory manager might have about the joint venture between TT and the supermarket group.
So here they said the supermarket group wants to have a joint venture with TT. So TT will be providing or producing their own branded chips. Mm-hmm. But what is the problem about this? What are the questions that the factory manager of TT will be asking himself or herself? The first is the capacity of the factory. TT already operates 24 hours for every 5 days. Mm-hmm. So that means there's no spare capacity. So how would they be able to produce for the supermarket? That's the first question about the factory capacity, because it's already occupied. It works 24 hours every day for 5 days. So that means it works virtually every day of the week and for 24 hours. Yeah. So there's no spare capacity, number one. That's the question that the factory manager would be asking himself or herself. The second question is about the weekends. They have Fridays, Saturdays and Sundays, which are free because there are 7 days in a week. So 5 days are done. So will they be able to open during the weekends so that they can be able to produce for the supermarkets? That's another question that will come up. But if they're able to do this, what happens to the cost they're going to incur? They have to pay extra. They have to pay overtime payments for workers to do that. Yes or no? Then the question will be, if we have to employ these workers to come over the weekends, is it cost effective or not? Are we going to be able to make it if they come? Are we going to be able to generate revenue and profits if we start operating on the weekends? How are we going to be able to maintain the machines? Now, because the machines have to work 24 hours a week. So which day are we going to be able to provide or to maintain the machines? These are the questions that will be going through the mind of the factory worker, factory manager. Is it clear? Then the next one is the quality of the chip. Because basically they're going to produce the same quality for the supermarkets and theirs. So what happens if customers tested the supermarket's brand of chips and they found out it's the same as TT's brand of chip? Will they continue to buy from TT or not? These are questions that has to come through the mindset. Do you get the point? And the last point I made is about the demand for TT's product. As soon as the supermarket starts selling, will the demand for TT's chip reduces or not? So these are the questions that has to go through the production manager or the factory manager of TT. Any question about it? Clear? That's the end.